Welcome to Authentic Conversations with Ryan James Miller. Join Ryan as he speaks with top business leaders and influencers, and hear how they've mastered the art of authenticity to achieve all that they dreamed of. As you hear from these leaders, seek not only to be inspired by their authenticity, but to strive for and master your own.
But when we think about this season, and when I think about this season, and I'm challenged to think about this season, like we hear this question, like, what do you want to be thankful for, right? Like, what are you grateful for? And I feel as though I actually shared part of this on social media this morning. We hear so many trite responses. It's my family. It's my health. It's my life. And don't get me wrong, right now, those are things to truly be thankful for. I mean, I haven't seen my mom, who lives a block from me, in 4 months as a result of this pandemic. And I have close friends that have lost family members and loved ones during this season of the pandemic. I've had friends lose businesses during this season of the pandemic. So I 100% understand that being thankful for our life, for our health, for our family, those things are wonderful. And those things are absolutely things that we should be thankful for. But I think that sometimes when we do that, we're actually passing over a far greater opportunity to see gratitude and thankfulness in our lives. So, I've been writing a book, super excited that the first edition is going to be released here pretty soon. And it is titled Waking Up to Who I Am. And I thought, many of you know this story, that it was really going to be centered around that tragedy that I experienced in Las Vegas, losing a friend and being a part of it. But what was so fascinating was that as I was being interviewed for the book, to start coming up with content, to start outlining and writing, it went much farther back than that. A lot of people don't know some of the things that are going to come out in this book that in some ways I'm really ashamed that people are going to find out about me. But, things like, my parents divorced when I was 6 years old. And my dad cheated on my mom. He left. He was a total asshole to my mom. He spoke ill about my mom in front of us all the time. But I looked up to my dad so much during that time that I didn't see him for who he really was. I also didn't really recognize what that did to me as a human being, how that was going to negatively impact me later on. So instead of growing up and learning from that, I put it behind me. I didn't take time to understand it. And some of that was just being young, but other parts of it was just trying to push it past me. So when I had the opportunity to get married, to have a child, I almost threw my marriage away by almost cheating on my wife. Like I didn't take an opportunity to learn through one of the most difficult times in my life. And I could go on and on about all of the ways in which I passed over opportunities to learn and grow because I just wanted to get past the difficult season of my life. We now all sit in one of those. We sit in probably, now when you're inserting in everybody's personal stories, we now sit in one of the most difficult times we will probably ever face in our lifetime. I pray to God this is the most difficult and it never gets any worse than this. But I would say to you, my question, and this is going to be a big challenge as I close, is can you specifically be thankful for 2020? Can you specifically be thankful for the year of the pandemic? Can you be thankful for the year of the greatest political and social divide we have ever been alive for, and maybe that this world has ever seen, apart from the founding days of our country? Can you express gratitude for those things? Not that you endured it and that you got over it, but that you actually went through it. Ryan Holiday, I'm a huge fan of his. One of the books he writes is The Obstacle is the Way. And he talks all about the fact that we're always trying to avoid the obstacles, to go around them, to go underneath them, to go over them. One of his small little quotes in there, he says, we choose the story we tell ourselves. What story are you going to tell yourself about 2020? Are you going to tell yourself that you pulled up your bootstraps, that you did everything you could, and you just made it to the end? And I know, and please understand that I empathize with some of you that that's all you're going to be able to say. And I thank God for that. But for the majority of us, there is something far greater that we are going to be able to say as the result of us experiencing the year that we've had, professionally and personally. I mean, the greatest tragedy that I've ever experienced in my life was watching a friend be shot and killed right next to me. And while you've probably heard me say before that I would do anything in my life apart from sacrificing my own wife and kids to bring her back and for that event to never happen, but I am 100% certain that I'm a better person because of what happened to me and because of what happened to her. In business this year, I lost 6 figures in business. I am thankful for that because it caused me to write my book. It caused me to lean harder into coaching the people that I want to coach. It caused me to start turning away from and saying no from things that I did not want to do anymore. But my hand had to be forced. It took a pandemic. It took me being brokenhearted over watching the way people are treating each other in a day like today to realize that I don't want to be one of those people. And so again, my challenge to you all is, can you and will you be thankful for what 2020 has done to you? As hard as it's been, do not just get through it. Find joy in the midst of it, learn from it, be encouraged by it. I guarantee you, you will be better because of it.
Thank you for listening to Authentic Conversations with Ryan James Miller. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and share it with others. To connect with Ryan and learn more, visit ryanjamesmiller.com.